Yo, what's up? So it's your boy Salvaje from the Salvaje Cartel. I'm back with another Save the World video. And I know I haven't uploaded a Save the World video in like the past 5 days, but I'll have a channel update at the end of the video. Let's get straight into the weapon review, which is going to be the Nocturno. Before we get into that though, use my support a creator code because, you know, we got that quarantine status on deck, which means that your boy does not have a main job and he needs that support a creator money. Alright, let's get straight into the review. So, for a long time, as some of you guys may or may not know, the Nocturno has just been a really underwhelming weapon, and the reason for that is because other assault rifles just far outvalue it. We're talking about the Bundle Bus, the Wraith Assault Rifle, the Pain Train, the Mythic AR as well is really good. For the most part, I never really thought that the Nocturno was going to be a weapon worth using, but this buff that the Nocturno got actually makes the weapon pretty decent. But is it a must-have weapon and should you buy the Ultimate Edition to get your hands on the Nocturno? Well, that decision is going to be up to you guys. Let me just tell you guys what I think. Let's talk about the cons first. It has 10% critical hit chance still, even after the buff. I think this was a mistake because you can do double crit damage with the Nocturno. So having a higher base critical hit chance means that you can get more value out of a crit rating crit damage build with the Nocturno. Which means that when it comes down to recommended perks, you could go for a double crit damage crit rating build, or I would also advise you guys to go for a damage headshot damage build so that you're able to get a lot of damage out of the Nocturno, because the 6 perk that the Nocturno has basically lets you mark targets, and the more damage you do on the target when you reload your weapon, you're going to hit that target with an explosion that's going to be doing 65% of the total damage that you put into the target. I believe that's how it works. So the point is, having a damage build with the Nocturno is actually going to be pretty decent. Now, I'm not a super crazy like nerd tester, right? So maybe having the critical damage actually makes the explosion do more damage. That could also be a variable that I might not be seeing. I do want to put that out there. However, I also want to point out that having an overall damage build with the Nocturno, since it has a 10% critical hit chance, it's also something that is beneficial. And the reason for that is because like that, you're going to be getting overall damage throughout the entire match instead of having that randomizer for the critical damage that you're going to be getting. Now, let's say that you need to do a lot of critical damage. Why would you even use the Nocturno? I mean, we have things like the Bundle Bus, we have things like the Obliterator. I understand that the Nocturno is an all-purpose weapon, but it doesn't really have to be when there are other weapons out there that can do the job of massive amounts of damage very quickly. As you guys know, I don't just rate weapons based on their individual performance. I also put other factors in play. You know, things like how it performs with gadgets, how it performs with teammates, how it performs on the primary, secondary slot, etc, etc. So that's why I wanted to drop that information to you guys. The 6 perk that the Nocturno has, however, does make the weapon very helpful, specifically when there's a lot of husk around, specifically in a crowd. I'm going to actually put a gameplay example of what I mean in the background. As you guys can see, at the beginning of this evacuate the shelter mission, my Nocturno was just destroying groups upon groups of enemies. And if you're able to increase the fire rate of the Nocturno by playing someone like Urban Assault Headhunter, a hero that is part of the base game, you're going to be able to proc the explosion ability very quickly, and you're going to be able to take care of crowds of husk very easily as well. Specifically if those husks are like really weak targets. Another thing that I like about the Nocturno is that the explosion that it has is able to sort of proc the marked effect onto other targets, which means that you can also, you know, stack the effect of the explosions multiple times. Another thing that I also like about the Nocturno is that it doesn't just work with one target only, like the Mythic Assault Rifle in Save the World, right? You can actually mark multiple targets with your Nocturno and then reload and then get multiple explosions at the same time, which makes it a really good area of effect type weapon. But of course, keep in mind that we have the Potshot grenade launcher in the game, which is also a top tier 6-star weapon. And I'm talking 6 stars when it comes down to my 5-star rating. The Potshot is really good. So do I think that you absolutely need to spend $100 to get the Ultimate Edition to get the Nocturno? To be honest, not really. This weapon has always had sort of like a bandwagon type of player base behind it just because it's an Ultimate Edition weapon. So that's why I want to give you guys the most rational review as possible, that you don't really need this weapon in Fortnite Save the World. to, of course, have a really good sort of gameplay experience. We have a lot of variety in Fortnite Save the World, and like I said, we have a ton of other weapon choices in Save the World that can do the job that this Nocturno is able to do. It's just not going to be able to do it all in one slot, but it's still going to be able to do it. Again, AoE damage, Noble Launcher, Pulsar 9000. A lot of high damage, Wraith Assault Rifle, Pain Train. You guys get what I mean? Now, that doesn't mean that this is a bad weapon. This weapon is amazing. And the reason for that is because of something that I haven't even talked about yet. In this mission that you guys are seeing in the background, my boy Binge set up a couple of his defenders and he gave the defenders the Nocturno, which means that constantly all of the husks that were coming towards us from time to time would be hit with an area of effect explosion. And guess what? That's right, that area of effect explosion came from the Nocturnos that the defenders had. So this is a really good weapon to give to your defenders. And in the endgame levels of play, it can be very helpful. That's pretty much the main reason we were able to do a really good job when it comes down to clearing out many husks in this mission. That, and of course the fact that we had the pot shot grenade launcher in my inventory as well. The point is, it's a really great weapon, guys. Star rating, it's going to be a 5 out of 5 star weapon because it's definitely a must-have. But just because it's a must-have, again, doesn't mean that you need to buy the Ultimate Edition. There's a lot of great weapons in Fortnite Save the World, and we pretty much get those weapons added into the item shop or into the game or into the llama shop every couple of weeks because, you know, Save the World developers like recycling content. So that's pretty much it. Those are my thoughts on the Nocturno. I apologize that I haven't been uploading a lot of Save the World videos. What I'm going to be doing is all of the pages of video ideas that I had for the free-to-play launch, I'm just going to be putting those ideas into videos, and I'm not really going to wait for the free-to-play launch anymore because it's just not going to happen anytime soon. So expect a lot of quick tips videos and beginner videos like coming up into the channel, or videos of things that are like general knowledge. Some of you guys might find some of those videos repetitive or that you already knew them. And the reason for that is because, well, there just isn't really any content to actually cover in Save the World, which means that I'm just going to have to make videos on the best things that I can make videos on so that I can keep the Save the World audience coming into the channel. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.